Lake Catholic holds up its end of the bargain to ensure an all News-Herald coverage area district final down in Kent State, doubling up Shaker Heights 4-2 on Tuesday night in a Kent district semifinal. With the noted exception of an inability to stay out of the box, including a penalty or two that weren't overly necessary, shall we say, I thought it was a really good night's work from the Cougars in a lot of facets. Every time they needed an answer, when Shaker got within striking distance, they found it. 2-1 hockey game late in the second period. Lake gets a power play, jumps on it. Alex Piazza with a nice goal there right at the end of the period to make it 3-1 going into the locker room. Obviously a huge momentum swing there. Shaker pulls within 3-2 late in the third period. A little more than a minute later, Lake gets an odd man rush, and Zach Gazzo does a nice job capping that off to make it a 4-2 game for the final margin. Having an answer every time you need one, obviously huge this time of year, needless to say. And I think there were some really encouraging facets in the defensive zone. I thought Charlie Denner was locked in early in this hockey game, and the blue liners did a really nice job. Guys like Danny Bruss and Kyle Horvath and Aaron Valentine doing a quality job blocking shots and cutting off passing angles and shooting angles. I think at times in this hockey game, Shaker was a bit reliant on those slap shots and those looks from the perimeter of the zone. And I think that Lake was doing a nice job managing that and keeping those opportunities to a minimum, and whatever did get through to Charlie, he was able to clean up well when he needed to. I think it was just a good night's work overall. They took a 1-0 lead out of the opening period. Really nice job by Kyle Horvath there in that sequence. Has two Shaker players in tow and does very well maintaining his balance and keeping his puck handling there into the offensive zone. Goes top shelf from the right side of the crease to make it a 1-0 game. Really good individual effort there by Kyle. And then in the second period, they're able to build a 2-0 lead. Chris Sendel pokes home a rebound. I'm happy to be right every once in a while. It doesn't happen very often, as we all know, but be that as it may, Chris, I thought he could be a real X factor for Lake down the stretch and really settle in nicely for this hockey team, and he's done a really nice job for the Cougars. Solid hockey player, solid guy in the locker room, and has really added well to Lake Catholic, and I'm happy to see the Mayfield transfer settling in well there at Lake Catholic in a senior campaign. Again, just a good, solid effort overall from the Cougars here going into that Kent District Final on Friday night against US, and I'm fascinated to see how this is going to work out. It's you look back to that game during the regular season. US was able to pull out a 3-1 win there, put together a good second period to pull that game out, and I just really like the way that Lake is playing right now. They were sharp except for having to go on the penalty kill too much. I think they were sharp in all other facets, and I like what I'm seeing as far as their approach as well. Just observing them pregame, for an example, just watching them, just be loose, but with their eyes on the prize at the same time, and that's really a nice sight to see. They really want that second straight trip to Nationwide Arena in Columbus. They're battling hard for it, and they look pretty good in a 4-2 victory over Shaker Heights, setting up another battle with US. No complaints here. I'll enjoy watching that one on Friday night after the Cougars were able to pull one out against Shaker.